and said, I'm going to do this. And that's what we did. But I set it up, I had advantages and disadvantages. The advantages were actually the same as the disadvantages. And that was basically, I didn't know anything about the British Jewish community. I'd been out of it for 20 years. So the politics that were in front of me, I basically said, I don't care, because I didn't understand it. Of course, that was also the disadvantage, because I kept on running into a whole bunch of politics that I didn't know how to get around. But it's true. And I decided to set it up with three major things in mind. The first was that it had to be about education. I don't know how many of you are aware of the Anglo-Jewish community. There's about 250,000 in the Anglo-Jewish community. And it's as diverse as every other community. But there are numerous trips that go to Poland. There are numerous trips almost monthly. Some of them heavily sponsored, some of them are free. And then there are synagogues and different youth organizations that take trips to Poland. So the first thing that everybody said was, we've been, we go, why would we go with you? I'm not going because they're not religious. I'm not going because they are religious. And I basically said, I don't care, you're coming or you're not coming. And I don't want it to sound in the wrong sentiment, but that is literally how we approached it. And I said it has to be about education. It's not about political, it's not about religious. It has to be open for everybody. And that was one of the great things that we actually did achieve, is that now every single youth movement comes with us and they all go together. So B'nai Akiva actually sit with Reform. And that's something which in the UK is completely unheard of. And then they said the third thing is that it had to be about Jewish identity. And it was really important for me to look at the next generation, not only to tell the stories of Poland, but that they come back and make a difference. And I've heard a lot of, I've had lots of conversations in here over the last 24 hours, and it's great to meet some of you, but some of what you've already done is what I'm trying to do, and it's kind of interesting sort of having that reflection. But it was very important to me that when people come back, they get involved in the community. And it was one of our biggest selling points. So when I look for sponsorship for students, and I'll get to how we do that in a minute, one of the things is, what's the take home? What are people investing in? Another Poland trip, there's already loads. And I was like, no, this is about getting involved in the community. This is a form of tikkun olam. This is about making a difference with your life. And that is what we're really proud to try and go after. So we set ourselves about being the gold standard of Holocaust education for Anglo Jewry. We've hired amazing educators. Britain doesn't have the same sort of survivor population. No surprise. Survivors came out after the war. They didn't want to go to Britain. They didn't want to go anywhere near Europe. They wanted to get as far away. If they couldn't get to Palestine, they wanted to get as far away from Europe as is humanly possible. So the survivor population in Great Britain is very, very small. But we'll have 6 buses and we'll have 7 survivors with us. And that's amazing. They have bought into this. They believe it because they see students. And they believe that they can pass their story on. We are slightly different to everybody here. Most people in here, they either take adults or they take high schools. I don't touch high schools. I haven't got a single high school student. My entire group is made up from university campuses or young professionals. I was almost forced into that choice. One, I took a choice myself that I thought intellectually I wanted to appeal to a slightly older age group. But also from an exam perspective, from an administration perspective, from an insurance perspective, and all the things that I would have had to deal with in dealing with high schools, I decided not to. A young professional group appeared out of nowhere. It was purely by luck. I didn't design it in any shape or form. And we'll have 50 young professionals coming with us. It's something that we built over a period of time, and we knocked down a lot of walls. But also, we do it on a shoestring. We don't have any staff. I do it pretty much on this laptop, sitting at home on my dining room table with a few volunteers who all work elsewhere, and they just give up their time to either help me raise money or to help me with flights or anything else we're trying to do. And it's something which I became very passionate about over a period of time. Somebody asked me, I think you asked me last night, is this my full-time job?
Yes.
And I said, no, yes. It became my full-time job. I mean, you know, I don't know how I became it my full-time job when I actually paid to do it rather than get paid, but there you go. And so that's really what I set out to do, and it's something which we grew. We took 10 students that first year. We took 80 the second year, 180. This year we're 250. It has now got it has got press. It's well known in the Jewish community from the last 18 months. This year, especially with the 70th anniversary, we got press. You've all seen an article I wrote, based on whether you read the article or not, doesn't matter. You saw the picture, and you've obviously noticed that I lost some weight. See, I was a banker, so I sat at a desk and ate a lot. Now I'm not. Now I'm poor and I'm walking a lot. Okay, so I lost a lot of weight. I've got to get 250 people to Poland, so I can't eat. I can't do anything. Right? So, so I lost a lot of weight. And as I said, I really thank you for inviting me here. And you know, ultimately the challenges we face is how we go from 250 to 500.